Well, Vice-President Kamala Harris last night expressed her deep concern about the humanitarian conditions in Gaza in talks with former Israeli Prime Minister Benny Gantz.
Now, the pair met at the White House yesterday. It followed Harris calling for an immediate ceasefire lasting at least 6 weeks. She did that yesterday, of course.
Let's speak now to Majoub Zawahiri, Professor of Middle East Politics at Qatar University in Doha. Good morning, Majoub. What can we expect from this meeting?
Well, to be honest, what has appeared so far in the last 2 hours that the Israeli political crisis is being shifted to Washington. The division within the government is being basically gone to Washington, and according to some people who attend those meetings, there was a tough message from the White House through Kamala that situation is becoming worse. No one can accept this. Humanitarian aid should go quickly and systematically. What is happening now should not continue. According to someone who was with the meeting, Gantz said, my visit to the White House was late 2 months. So basically, he felt the heat from the White House. And it seems that there is another message that, White House is differentiating between supporting Netanyahu in the war on Gaza and supporting Israel. And that's the message conveyed to Gantz, that, Israelis should move and select another government which can, work with the region, especially when they talk about normalization with Saudi Arabia. The message was to Gantz, no way there will be a normalization with Saudi Arabia at current status quo.
Majoub, welcome to Talk today. Really appreciate you being on. It's interesting as well if you look at the politics behind it. Benny Gantz, quite a critic of Netanyahu and part of that coalition. Without his support, Netanyahu could be in trouble. But if you look stateside as well, Majoub, I mean, we have heard and seen nothing of Kamala Harris at all. She was supposed to be the anointed one. Poll rates worse than the dog in the White House, apparently. I mean, I read the most extraordinary thing. But what's interesting is the leader of the free world, the United States of American president, who the other day got Ukraine and Gaza mixed up, has sent Kamala Harris to do this. And I think that's a really interesting dynamic, because Benny Gantz will go back to Israel and say, she's the one that came out and said it. Why isn't the president of the United States leading this? Why is he not putting pressure on Netanyahu? That's what I don't understand. Why Kamala Harris?
I think this is the political game. I think Biden does not want to embarrass himself personally. He wants the message to be conveyed through Blinken, through Kamala. Kamala was aware, as you said correctly, that she was aware of the crisis from day one. I mean, today and yesterday, we have some reports revealing that she was always convincing Biden to do something. The casualties, unbelievable. There are some reports trying to present her role. However, I think it's a White House game, not to put Biden himself in the face, trying to convey the message through the vice president, through Blinken, through Sullivan, because those people actually, especially Blinken and Sullivan, they have talked many times with Gantz and talked with Netanyahu. I think it's an internal dynamic within the White House, trying not to basically push the relation with Netanyahu to the limit.
And Majoub, we've covered the US there, but what about the United Kingdom and where we stand in terms of our relationship with Israel as a whole, but also with specifically Netanyahu and his government? We saw our politicians the other week falling over themselves over semantics of which kind of ceasefire to call for. But realistically, what is our relationship like, and what can we do to try and resolve the issues over there, and specifically with Netanyahu and his government?
To be honest, UK in a critical situation. Geopolitics matters. UK is not the United States. UK is just to the crisis is behind the door, is in the backyard. UK has historical ties with the Middle East. It has interest to see stability sooner than later. I think I have said it many times to my British friends that United Kingdom has to understand this war is a Netanyahu war. It wasn't an Israeli war, and they have to be careful in their positions, because there is a volcano of hatred in the region. To anyone support this war, there is a volcano of hatred can be transferred to more radical positions, which I am really worried about it as a professor and an expert in the region. I think United Kingdom should be very careful in their position and position themselves with a human being and trying to push Netanyahu government through United Nations, through any international organization defending the UNRWA. I mean, what's been happening now of demonization of UNRWA, that should not be accepted by the United Kingdom at all. They should be clear on this. If there are someone have done wrongdoing, they should be basically holding accountable. But the solution is not basically to shut down the UNRWA. UNRWA now is under threat, and UNRWA is the only channel can get the humanitarian aid to Gaza in a systematic manner without kind of a problematic solution and steps done by Netanyahu's government. United Kingdom can do a lot actually at the moment.
It's very interesting, isn't it, Majid? Because after October the 7th, the whole world came out quite rightly, condemned those horrific attacks by Hamas and said that Israel had a right to defend the Jewish people. It's interesting as you watch the global, you see those dreadful pictures, you understand the humanitarian crisis, and the world has changed its opinion. However, what I will say doesn't come out of my mouth. Try and understand where I'm coming from here. I think we can all jump up and down, right? And somebody said it yesterday, a high-ranking military guy. We can all jump up and down and talk about a ceasefire, permanent or 6 weeks in Kamala Harris's thing. Everybody can see those pictures. The fact of the matter is, however desperately upsetting this next comment is, there won't be a ceasefire until the two protagonists put down their weapons and decide. Not 6 weeks, but permanently. And right now, Netanyahu and Hamas show no sign of that. So the world can quite absolutely correctly pontificate and look at those images. But I think there's a long, long, long way to go. But for me, he changed the game plan, Netanyahu, by saying no two-state solution. But at the same time, the world needs rid of Hamas. So that is still the issue that was there and has been there for a long, long time. But fascinating to have you on, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. Majid says, I can't say his second name.
Thank you so much for joining us this
Majid
morning.
Barkhoudia, thanks,
Majid. Thank you.